Here's what we're gonna do. So, it's my turn right now. I want to kill the video for just a second. I'm gonna put the volume up on me. I want to hear myself talking right now. So this is what happens when you give politicians the microphone and tell them to talk for 5 minutes. An hour and a half later, we're still waiting. And I want you all to know that I've been drinking as though I was going to talk 45 minutes ago. So I'm not responsible for any of this because I was supposed to be up here 45 minutes ago. So listen, libertarianism is my favorite subject in the world. And if you don't believe me, ask my wife or anybody else who knows me. It's all I talk about. I go out, I start talking about libertarianism. We're at Family Day, Mother's Day. My family's all like, oh, there he goes again. It's my favorite subject. And I've noticed something when I bring up my favorite subject with everybody I know. They all say, well, I'm like, why aren't you libertarian? I feel like everybody should be a libertarian. I feel everybody is a libertarian, and if you're not, it's just because you haven't been told why you're not. Oh, you libertarians are against everything. That's what I hear all the time. Y'all are against everything. What are we against? Come on, guys. What are we against? Censorship. Good one. What else? Yeah. Taxes. We're against big government. Taxes. We're against what? Victimless crimes. We're against everything. We're just against everything. You libertarians aren't for anything. You're against everything. So we're going to go through all that. And you know why I'm a libertarian? Not because we're against things. It's because the libertarians I know are some of the most positive people in the world. It's because they've unplugged themselves from the system. It's because they found the answer. Because everybody out there, they're the negative ones. They've accepted this unnatural order as what is real. But it's unnatural. They've accepted it. They're plugged into the matrix. The libertarians I know are positive because they've unplugged themselves from the matrix. And I'm dating myself with that movie, probably. But they say we're against government. What is government? Anybody want to give me an answer of what government? Group decision making. Exactly. It's about control. Government is what people who want to control you form, and that's what it is. We're not against government. One of the core libertarian principles is voluntary association. Does everybody know what voluntary association is? It means I have the right to be around the people I want to be with. It means I, as an individual, ought to only engage in relationships with people and organizations and businesses that I choose. We don't have a choice. The government is put before us, and we are forced to engage with the government. That's an unnatural thing, okay? Government, and here's the thing about government, okay? Here's what governments get to do. They get to do things that you and I cannot do, all right? If I walked into my friend Christian Himard right here, if I walked into his house and I'm like, Christian, I like your house. I want 11% of it. What would Christian do to me? Get out of my house. If I were the government, you know what I could do? I'd go find the guys with the guns and I could say, hey, I want 11% of Christian's house. Actually, I wanted 45% of it. He wouldn't give it to me. Amendment guns. Go. So government gets to do things that we as individuals can't do. They get to tax us, which we'll get to taxes in a second, because that's something else we're against. However, government gets to, all right, my friend Amy here. If my friend Amy didn't like my friend Sam, and she took a gun out and shot Sam, killed her dead, what would happen to Amy? What would happen to Amy if she killed Sam? She'd go to jail. Prison, exactly. But if government doesn't like somebody, what do they get to do? War. We have war. So governments get to murder people, and they just call it war. Or nowadays, what do we call it? Terrorism. So governments get to do immoral things. Call it something else. And it's okay. All right, what else are we against? Let's go to the next thing we're against. Well, what is a law? What's a law? Tell me, Tom, what's a law? It is, Tom, I will make a law that takes away one of your rights. That's what laws are. It is a thing that takes away your right. Laws of nature you can't break. But laws of nature are different because laws of nature define things. Laws of government take away your rights. Okay? And libertarians are not against laws because a law is not a natural thing. A law is you are a person, and we will now make a random rule that says you can't do something. That's not a natural state. So to say you libertarians are against laws, no, we're for freedom. We are for freedom. You, Mr. Not Libertarian, you're the one that's against something. You're against freedom. Okay? Laws are not natural. And what do we love to do? We love to make laws that turn innocent people into criminals for no reasons. We have so many laws right now that you can just live your life. You can go about living your life in a normal way and end up in jail. Because, all these laws. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know I was supposed to have a metal basin sink in a restaurant on the 3rd Street in Detroit. Because that's a law. I mean, it's really, really crazy, people. All right? What are libertarian? What is it when it comes to laws? What's our mantra as libertarians? What is our mantra? When it comes to laws, when it comes to crime, what's our mantra? No victim, no crime. Okay? I can't. So we believe in laws. We do. Like I shouldn't be able to walk up to somebody and slap them in the face. That's aggression. There should be laws where there are victims. We're not against laws. We believe in freedom. All right, what else are we against? When it comes to voluntary association, you don't have a choice about paying taxes, all right? Yeah, I mean, and what the government does is they try to tell you, well, taxes do positive things, all right? Oh, yeah, it helps the poor. We'll get to that in a second. They use taxes to curb unpopular behaviors. You smoke, you're overweight, you're alcoholic, they're gonna tax you more. So taxation is about control. It's about the government controlling you and trying to curb behaviors. It's all about control. But we're not for taxes. We are against taxes. Taxes are not normal. We're for keeping our own money. That's what we're for. But look at welfare. What is welfare? Okay. Well, that's a tough one for some folks because everybody wants to help poor people. Okay. Everybody wants to help the poor. So I really struggle because we have that Nolan quiz, and one of the questions in the Nolan quiz is replace welfare with private charity. And I watch people, that's the question everybody stops on right there. What? Replace welfare with private charity? What? I watch a lot of folks struggle with that, and I struggle with that too. Welfare is government trying to convince you that your tax money is doing some good. But all welfare is doing is just creating dependency. All right? And government's all about dependency. The government wants you dependent on it because that means you're going to maintain the government. Welfare creates huge bureaucracies that control very important things like property. Okay? They can make this valuable property or that valuable property under the disguise of welfare. All right? Now that's an easy thing for us in the room. But for your friends out there who are struggling with the idea of getting rid of welfare, they need to know that. That's what welfare really is. Massive bureaucracies that control things like the labor market, okay? The labor market. You want to get rid of welfare? Here's a solution for you. Get rid of the minimum wage. How about that? All right? Because minimum wage maintains welfare. Who can live on minimum wage in this country? Nobody can. You have to have welfare if you have minimum wage. Well, let's get rid of that. That's going to help get rid of welfare. You want to get rid of more welfare? Let's do a lot of other things too. Let's raise the barrier to starting a small business. Because what government does is, you have to file this form 1275B. You got to pay this $1,200 fee. What are you doing there? You're not certifying anything's correct or wrong. You're just paying fees. Let's get rid of some of these regulations and these fees, these forms you got to fill out. All right. Someone should be able to sell fruit on the side of the road without a problem. Let's help people help themselves. No, they're like, no, you don't need to sell fruit. Go down and fill out some forms and get you some welfare. So we are not against welfare. What we're for is enabling people. We're for personal responsibility. We're for people helping themselves. Okay? Welfare is the solution you get when government tries to find a solution. All right. We are not against war. We're against what we've been seeing in this country. Okay? We believe in the non-aggression principle. We believe in a defensive war. But they've thrown out this whole new term, war on terror, which has become something that, it's become like a blank check to be an indefinite war. Okay? And if anybody hasn't read 1984, that's our recommended reading tonight, 1984. We are at war with South Asia. We've never been at war with South Asia. We are at war with South Asia. We've never been at war with South Asia. The citizenry in this book, there's 2 other continents in there. I mean, they don't even remember. They just know they're at war right now, but they don't even remember because the government is a constant state of war. And we've been for 15 years in a constant state of war. We're not against war. We're for people keeping their lives. We're for peace. All right, anyway, wrapping up here. We're not against things. Like I said, libertarians are very positive people. We're for the non-aggression principle, which we really haven't talked about much tonight, the non-aggression principle. That's what we are absolutely for. We're for accountability, voluntary association, localization. Localization is very important. Get your stuff from people around you. Educate yourself based on your local culture. That's what libertarians are for. We're for self-defense. And primarily, we're for peace. I don't hear enough libertarians talking about peace. We are a people of peace. We are a nation of warmongers, and I feel like we are, as libertarians, we're paddling uphill without a paddle. Be about peace as libertarians. Be about forgiveness and peace. Thank you very much for your time, everybody. I apologize for forcefully migrating you like Palestinians up front. All right, our next person up.